Before this story begins, I want you to imagine something for a moment. A mansion so large its silence echoes, a father who believes money can fix anything, and a hidden camera that captures something no one was meant to see. Stay with this story until the very end, because what this father discovers will change the way you think about control, trust, and what it truly means to protect someone you love. And if stories that remind you of humanity in unexpected places matter to you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next one. Daniel Mercer had built his empire on precision. Every investment calculated, every risk anticipated, every outcome measured before the first dollar moved. By 45, he had more wealth than he ever dreamed of as a young man growing up in a cramped apartment above his mother's bakery. Success had taught him one thing above all: control was survival. And for years that belief had served him well. Until the night a drunk driver ran a red light and turned Daniel's carefully structured world into something fragile and unrecognizable. His son, 11-year-old Ethan, had been in the passenger seat. The impact crushed metal, shattered glass, and severed something far more permanent. Ethan survived. But from the waist down, there was nothing, no sensation, no movement, no miracle. In the months that followed, Daniel discovered a truth he was not prepared for. Money could buy specialists, the best surgeons, cutting-edge rehabilitation programs, and a private suite in the most advanced hospital in the country. But it could not buy back what had been taken. When Ethan returned home, the mansion felt different. Larger, colder. Hallways that once echoed with sneakers slapping against marble floors now carried the mechanical hum of a motorized wheelchair. The swimming pool sat untouched. The basketball hoop in the driveway became a monument to before. Daniel reacted the only way he knew how. He fortified. He installed security systems beyond industry standard. Discreet cameras appeared in corners, behind decorative grills, within smoke detectors. He told himself it was about safety. About accountability. Nurses, physical therapists, caregivers, housekeepers, they rotated in shifts, each vetted, each monitored. He had learned quickly that not everyone treated vulnerability with reverence. One therapist skipped repetitions when she thought no one would notice. A caregiver once sighed loudly and called Ethan heavy under her breath. A housekeeper had repositioned him too abruptly, leaving faint bruises on his arm. Daniel caught each incident through footage review. Each time, the person was dismissed immediately. Each time Daniel felt justified, but also more alone. When the previous housemaid resigned, citing burnout, Daniel hired someone new with minimal emotional investment. Her name was Sophia Reyes. Her resume was modest. No prestigious institutions, no glowing celebrity references. Just years of elder care and a short note from a pediatric patient's family, thanking her for bringing light back into difficult days. During the interview, she did not stare wide-eyed at the vaulted ceilings or the glass staircase. She didn't gush about the opportunity. She asked practical questions about schedule, medications, dietary restrictions. And then, almost as an afterthought, she asked, "What makes Ethan laugh?" Daniel had paused. The question felt almost inappropriate. "He used to like racing games," he said stiffly. Sophia nodded. "Used to?" Daniel ended the interview shortly after. He hired her anyway. The first week was uneventful. The house remained immaculate. Meals were prepared on time. Medication logs were precise. Sophia followed every instruction in the care binder Daniel had personally assembled. Daniel barely saw her. He left early, returned late, buried in expansion deals and investor calls. But he noticed something subtle. Ethan lingered in common areas more often. Instead of retreating to his room immediately after therapy, he stayed near the kitchen when Sophia cooked. Daniel once passed by and heard faint humming. Not polished singing, just soft, absent-minded melody. Ethan wasn't speaking much, but he wasn't withdrawing either. One Thursday evening, Daniel returned home earlier than usual. A meeting had been canceled. The quiet greeted him like always, but he felt restless. On impulse, he entered his private office and pulled up the camera feeds. He expected routine. Sophia was sitting on the living room floor beside Ethan's wheelchair. She wasn't performing exercises. She wasn't cleaning. She wasn't even speaking at first. She simply sat there, cross-legged, breathing slowly. And shoulders were tight, as they often were. After a moment, Sophia said softly, "Match me." She inhaled deeply. The tension in his neck gradually eased. Then she tapped lightly on the hardwood floor. A slow rhythm. She handed Ethan 2 wooden spatulas from the kitchen. "Your turn," she said. Uneven. She smiled not professionally, but genuinely, and adjusted her rhythm to match his instead of correcting him. Soon, a pattern formed. Imperfect but shared. Ethan laughed, not the polite half-chuckle Daniel had grown used to. A real laugh, unrestrained. Daniel felt something catch in his throat. Over the next few nights, he watched more often. Not obsessively, just curiously. He saw Sophia read to Ethan not children's stories, but adventure novels. She debated his answers seriously, as if his perspective mattered in shaping imaginary worlds. During physical therapy downtime, she transformed repetitive movements into challenges with names like Mountain Mission and Operation Thunder. She celebrated effort, not outcome. And then came the night Daniel would never forget. The living room camera showed Ethan awake, tears streaking down his face. "I hate this," he cried. "I hate being stuck. I hate it." Daniel's instinct was immediate. He pushed back his chair, ready to rush downstairs, but something stopped him. On the screen, Sophia knelt in front of Ethan. She didn't silence him. She didn't say, "Don't say that." She didn't offer empty optimism. She simply said, "I know." Ethan sobbed harder. "I want to run." Sophia gently took his hands and placed them on her thighs. Sophia nodded. Then she began walking slowly in place, keeping his hands on her legs. "This is step 1, she whispered. "Feel that shift? That's movement. Different doesn't mean gone." She described each motion vividly. The pressure change. The balance, the rhythm. Ethan's breathing gradually steadied as he concentrated. When she stopped, she pressed her forehead lightly to his. "Your body remembers," she said. "We'll remind it together." Daniel didn't realize he was crying until a tear hit the keyboard. In that moment, he understood something devastating and liberating all at once. His cameras had prevented neglect. His money had ensured treatment. Sophia had done that without knowing anyone was watching. The next morning, Daniel asked Sophia to meet him in his office. She entered calmly, perhaps expecting a schedule change or critique. Daniel hesitated before speaking. Then he told her about the cameras, not defensively, not as a justification. As a confession, he admitted what he had seen, the breathing, the rhythm. The midnight conversation, Sophia listened quietly. She didn't appear angry. She didn't appear flattered. "I'm glad you saw him," she said gently. "Not just the chair." Daniel offered her a salary increase, benefits, a long-term contract with bonuses. Sophia shook her head. From that day forward, Daniel still had the cameras, but he no longer checked them searching for failure. He watched occasionally, not to catch mistakes, but to learn how to sit on the floor and breathe without trying to fix something. The house began to change. He requested books. He even asked Daniel one evening, "Dad, want to hear what happens next?" Daniel began coming home earlier, not every night, but more than before. Months passed. Progress was incremental. There were setbacks, frustrations, days Ethan refused exercises. But there was something new woven into the rhythm of the house, trust. It was about allowing someone else to show up with heart, where he had only shown structure. They were tapping rhythms again. This time, Daniel stepped outside and sat down on the ground beside them. He didn't speak. He just listened. Ethan grinned. "You're offbeat, Dad," he teased when Daniel joined in. Not because he trusted blindly, but because he finally understood that safety built on fear alone creates walls, not healing. If this story touched you, if it reminded you that compassion can reach places control never will, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in quiet kindness, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that prove humanity is the greatest wealth of all.